I want to talk today about happy emotions, how to feel happy. Everybody says, oh, those thoughts are your own, and all you have to do is change those thoughts, and then you can be happy. And of course, the little voice is going, yeah, right. And how do I do that? And you just change them, and it's so easy, and everybody could be happy, and you could choose to be happy if you wanted to be. So if you're not happy, maybe you're choosing not to be happy. And it goes on, and you got all this guilt and stuff going on. But what is it that we're supposed to do if we want to change our thinking, and how do we do that? So I was writing down some stuff, and I made an acronym for it so you could remember. It's called REAPS, R-E-A-P-S. And I really like that because to me, we reap what we sow. So we reap the wealth of all the seedings that we've gotten, whatever that is, the wisdom. So to practice these things, then we can reap happiness. And of course, each one of us will have to determine what happiness means for you. But for me, happiness is like being okay with getting out of bed in the morning. You know, being able to go out and see the morning and maybe smile because you see something beautiful. Where you want to talk to people and you want to engage and you want to experience and you want to think. I think of it more, not like a high, but as this peaceful, wonderful, kind of loving, colorful state of being to where life is really good and it's a good day. So to start with the first one, the R, was really an easy one to do. Everybody at some point in their life, I think, has had a moment or a time where things were going well. Where you had a peak day or a peak experience or a joyful moment or somebody gifted you with something or said something nice or just everything was working. Take a moment to recapture that, to remember it, to bring that into your mind. Just sit there and close your eyes and think, oh, I remember that day, the sun was shining, the sky was blue, everybody was laughing, the family, no one was fighting, they were all getting along. And remember, what did you feel? Oh, there was love that day and there was music. And as you start to pull the experiences back in, you start to relive them. And you get that feeling again, and it takes you out of wherever you were. The mind takes us crazy places, the way it won't stop and the way it keeps going on. And this is one of the ways to break the cycle. You can do it anywhere, in the bathroom, you can do it at work, you can do it in the car. But those moments in time, I think those are the things that are the most valuable to me. A memory, an experience with a grandchild or a daughter, or with my family, or with good friends, or just enjoying, breaking bread with people, or all of the chances, the sunsets and the sunrise. There's so many beautiful things in this world that we've all experienced and have in our memory banks. And to take the time to recreate it, because what you're looking for is that feeling again, those thoughts, how life was flowing, how it was working then. So to recapture those and remember those, and it's free and it only takes a minute. Maybe not even that long if you can remember fast. I take longer because I like to build it. I want to build the experience, so I'm feeling it and trying to remember the breeze. And it's even gotten so when I have a good moment, I think to myself, I want to store this one. I want to remember this one and keep it with me. The second one is something we hear all the time. It's exercising emotions. And most of these are what you would consider like a mindfulness practice, where you're going to practice and do things. But so you're going to exercise the emotions that help you get into that feeling of loving and sharing and expanding. It's going to be stuff like gratitude, or empathy, or compassion. When I was going through tough times, I had a gratitude book, and I'd spend days, writing it down every day, hours. I'd get every little thing. I got a smile at the grocery store because life looked so bad. I had to really look for the things that were good. And I noticed them and I wrote them down. And I noticed that also kept me in the moment. It kept me focused on looking around to see what good was happening, as opposed to expecting the bad and looking for the worst. spent a lot of time, and I still do it. When I'm waiting for the car to warm up in the morning, I use that time. I use shower time, prayer work, gratitude, really caring, all of those kind of things. And these are things that really help us be more in tune with Spirit, more in tune with the all, because no one knows we're doing it. Somebody's not grading you on it and said, hey, you did a good job. Look, you got 50 things on your list. You're an A student. These are the things where you begin to value yourself and what you do and know in your heart the impact that you're making on the world because you're taking this time to make a difference. It's important that we build our trust in ourselves and our value in ourselves so that we're not relying on anything outside of ourselves. So we know that when we go out, the world is a better place because we're in it. We're smiling, we're caring. Think about compassion and empathy. What's so important about those things? You got an idea?
What's so important?
Mm-hmm.
The way Kim said, the way it causes us to expand and to look beyond and to move out of ourselves.
Okay. What for the other person that you're extending it to?
Oh, it's sending divine vibrations of peace, of love, of acceptance.
So there's a real give and take.
Absolutely.
And the big thing in that is that the other person can feel heard, that they feel acknowledged, that they're known. When I grew up, it was back party lines, there were like 9 people on the phone. We lived on a ranch in the country. You either worked in the fields or you were at home, and you didn't talk to anybody all summer. You're almost happy to go back to school so you could see people again. Because if you couldn't get on the phone, and the old ladies were always on the phone, that's where all the grandmothers were fighting about whose turn it was to talk on the phone. So we didn't get phone experiences, and if we got a minute. There was a timer. So that's how long you could talk, and then you had to get off. But it was important to be heard. That's why social media works, because anyone can put something on there and feel heard. People are going to click like, they're going to comment about it. We saw Nicole's dog on it. So everybody knows they're not alone. Somebody's there, somebody's appreciating them, somebody's listening to them. It means we have value. So when someone is coming to you, they're not coming for you to fix it. They're not coming for you to do magic. Most of the time, they just need to be heard and have a sympathetic ear. And if you don't have anything to say, you say that. I have no words, but I hear you, and I feel for you, whatever is involved. But it's important to take time in how we do things. Take time to listen, take time to notice, take time to hear, take time to appreciate all of that. Then the next one is to allow and accept. Allow everybody to be what they are. Allow it. Accept it just the way they are. It's this concept I can't say enough of. Allow the world and the people in it to be good enough no matter what that is. Allow them to be their own individual expression of source. Don't try to change people. How many times have we had a friend or we fell in love and had a relationship, or we thought our kids were great, but if they would only listen to me and if we could only fine-tune them just a little bit, they'd be so much better. It doesn't work. I was divorced twice, I'm telling you. But we do that over and over and over. If somebody's irritating you, it's because of something in you. It's not them. They're happy. It's something in us that we need to look at or something that we need to change. But then also, allow yourself to be good enough. Accept you for who and what you are. Don't keep looking for things to where you're half empty. Things that you're not good enough at. Things that you're not measuring up to. We're so taught these rules when we're brought up. What you're supposed to do, what's expected, what are you supposed to accomplish, what are your goals, how are we going to measure how good you're doing into society? And we do that to ourselves. That's so abusive. We keep ourselves in prison because we do terrorist attacks to ourselves, we punish ourselves. It's amazing how we judge ourselves as never being good enough. And all we're doing is hurting ourselves and hurting the world, because if you beat up on yourself enough, it impacts everybody. You know, the law of averages works. You got two happy people and one miserable person, you know, the happiness just got diluted a lot by the other person. We work on ourselves. That's how the world gets to be a better place. To work on us and to be happy with it. The airplane's late. Well, okay, read a book. Use that time. There's all kinds of reasons. Maybe you're missing like a crash. Maybe they're fixing something so it'll all work right. It's nice if the air conditioning works. But people, these things happen. It happens to all of us. We drop something. We mess up on something. We make a mistake. That's part of being human. So if we can go out in our interactions and we got to stand in line, well, I chose to do it at this time of the day or this time of the week or this night. Yeah, if it's Thanksgiving, can I complain because the airport's busy? I chose to fly then. I made that choice. We have to start accepting our choices and what the consequences of our choices are and dealing with it in a reasonably happy way. And remember, everybody's got phones. You're not going to get away with anything. You're going to be on YouTube and you're going to go viral if you do something. So you really got to be careful what you do now. It's not just grandma and mom watching, the whole world's watching. But take care. Allow yourself to be happy. Allow yourself to be okay with where you are and how you look and what you eat and where you go and whatever your education is and whatever your income is, how you talk, the behaviors you have, your eccentric things, and allow it to be okay for everybody else. Remember, good enough is really good enough. I learned it when I was in foster care, and they give you this little picture of this house. And it talks about what's good enough as opposed to what's perfect or the way you would have done it. And it shows the mother sitting there in her curlers, and I've shared this before, so bear with me if you've heard it already. And she hasn't done her hair, but at least, you know, she's washed her hair and it's in curlers, and she's taking care of herself. The Coke can is spilled, and there's a little dribbled on the table, but it's Coke, it's not alcohol, and you can't see any alcohol in the picture. You can see through the door and the kitchen's a mess, but there's food in there. So it means everybody's got food and they're eating. You know how the lines go out to show lights? Well, the lamp is plugged into the wall and it doesn't have the cover on it, and there's like paint specks on the floor, but the lines are there, they've got electricity. What's good enough? If we can accept the perfection of whatever that is, that what I have is good enough for everything, and in its good enoughness, it's perfect. It's what I need. It's what I'm going to use. It's the life I've chosen. And being good with that, then what do you have to be miserable about? Because it's perfect. So we start looking at things differently. And we do practice. We practice things. We practice being mindful. We practice caring. We practice this till it becomes a lifestyle, till it is embodied and we live and breathe it and it becomes our default system. And the last one I really love is savoring. Just think of that. Say that. Savoring. Think of all the words that are like that. Love. Life. You can